Welcome to another episode of a Don't Miss a Beat from the Beat. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm your host, Ryan Sakamoto, and we have a lot to discuss today. I just came back from Raiders headquarters and earlier from today and watching OTAs, watching practice, and obviously talking to Coach McDaniels, Chandler Jones, Coach Graham, and obviously AJ Cole, who's always a fun time to talk to. It's just always been good vibes with all those people involved. But no, AJ Cole's really funny. If you guys don't know by now, he's a funny dude. He's a funny guy. So never a dull moment with AJ Cole. But a lot to talk about today. Sorry, I was running a little bit behind. I actually took a quick power nap. Overslept my boundaries here, but we're back in game time. So Space Chimp says salute, fam. What's going on, you guys? How you guys doing today? It's really crazy to see how you guys really the good engagement. We got like 150 subscribers, actually more than that. I think we got like 175 subscribers in the last 24 hours. So we're growing fast. We are growing extremely fast. And before we get started, just a heads up, you guys see these banners, always pay attention to them. So smash the like button if you guys like what I have to bring on the daily, because at the end of the day, I do it all for you guys. So I wanted to have some of these other people on, a fellow beat writer, kind of getting their perspective. But we just couldn't figure out a conflicting of schedule with people. The Vegas Knights, you guys know the Vegas Golden Knights, they're in the Stanley Cup Finals. So a lot of people talking about that. A lot of people talking about the NBA Finals. So, and covering that. So a lot of different things, man. A lot of different things here. But I'm here, and we're going to keep things rolling. We're going to talk about OTAs, all right, and answer any questions you guys have. Plo Jogger 766 says, roll tide. What's going on, my guy? How are you guys doing today? Daniel Kim, thank you so much. D-Menace, thank you so much for modding. Thank you, everyone, for sending the super chats. Thank you, Mika from Germany, again, sending me a super thanks on the replay. Thank you to Koya Yoshida. Thank you for all the Venmo donations that I've been getting. I really appreciate it. Got a few of those actually straight from Raiders headquarters today. And all you guys have to do, if you guys are on Venmo, what you guys doing is obviously you guys add me as a friend first to make sure that it's me. But then it's in the description box below. So again, my Venmo link is in the description box below. All my social media on all the platforms are listed in the link below. And again, you're going to want to follow me on all the social media platforms that I'm on, right? And again, if you're not on Twitter, if you're not on YouTube, or if you're not on Instagram, you're going to be missing out somewhere. So I'm not saying you have to download every single app, because that's just, I have to do it because it's my job, right? But if you have all three apps, I highly suggest you do that. And you guys can go ahead and do that simply by just looking up Beastwriter, right? And it's like, it's not that hard. It's very vanilla in terms of like the streamlined platforms that I'm on, where the same handle applies. So it's at Beastwriter. That is exactly it. I put it all up here for you. It's also listed in the description box of every single live stream, every single podcast, every single video in the description box below. But as you can see right here, it's right here at Beastwriter. So as you can see, I'm just kind of getting my my legs back in terms of growing and telling people to, hey, we're on YouTube generally. If you guys haven't noticed, by the way, speaking of YouTube, not going off topic because we're talking about social media platforms, but look on the community page. If you go to my community page, you'll find a lot of great information. Also, do not miss out on the articles that I'm writing on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. And then obviously in responding to you guys, I don't just say, if you guys have a question like, oh, is Tom Brady coming back to play for the Raiders? And I won't just say yes or no. It's not a yes or no answer. It's always an in-depth answer. And I'll tell you the why behind the what on the Beast mentality on that. But I like engaging with you guys. That's the most important thing that I like to do. And I talked about Samoan Raider yesterday. If you guys missed yesterday's live stream with my guy Samoan, is it's all about engaging with all of you, whether you're a fan, whether you're a content creator, just bridging the gap between beat writer and you guys. And I think that's really important. I've always done it that way with coming over from the Niners. And again, a lot of great connections that I've made, a lot of great friendships that I've made over the years coming from the Niners. Like I'll be honest with you, like a lot of people I meet and who I still keep in contact today is strictly from YouTube, strictly from Facebook, strictly from Instagram. And those friendships, even though I cover the Raiders, are still with me. It's just crazy. And the same thing applies here with D Menace, with Daniel Kim, with Onto Six, Robert Pena. I mean, all my mods in here, right? Juan Avalos now wants to meet up, and I think that's really cool. Like, I am down to meet up. Like, I am down to meet up with people. Because at the end of the day, it's like, again, you only have 24 hours in a day, right? And so what I like to do with those 24 hours is I like to give back as much as possible. So in a nutshell, that's what the Beast receipts are all about too, is like giving back, right? I'm always one to give back. That's not going to change. And if someone doesn't like me giving back, swipe left. I'm all about trying to create a better tomorrow. That's what I'm all about. And hopefully you guys like that flavor, right? Outside of the Beast receipts, outside of my predictions, analysis, and everything, talking X's and O's with Coach Graham, which we'll get into in a little bit. I think he kind of misunderstood my question, but I love Coach Graham, by the way. But yeah, if you guys haven't missed the Coach Graham interview, that was great. He always gives up great inside information from his vantage point in terms of what he looks for from a coaching perspective. And I think that's really, really cool. All right. DK says, let's go. Good vibes only. Road to 6K, road to 10K. Yeah, we are at 5,300 subscribers. I want to give a special shout out to Sanjeet, special shout out to Samoan Raider. I mean, these are content creators that are really willing to collab and work with me, right? Collabing is one thing where I think when you collab with someone, you do a little thing and then you just kind of swipe left and it's done. Or you can like work with them, right? Or collab, and you do some type of thing where it continues on, right? And hopefully this is fostering good vibes only, where we can all grow together, right? I think it's only going to be beneficial for everyone to kind of just work together. Unfortunately, not everyone wants to work together. So people are asking me, how come you don't collab with these people? How come you don't and then there's a vetting process on my end, right? As a beat writer, I can't just have anybody on. Like, there is a huge vetting process that the DOB goes through, because again, I am a beat writer and I need to protect the brand, right? You just can't have anyone be an ambassador for Nike if they're just being, bad people on the streets, right? Like, whatever the case may be. So again, the perception is, yes, I would love to have everyone. However, we just can't have anyone. We just can't have anyone. Darnell Sanders says, what's up, Beast? What's up, Nation? How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing today? Oh man, I am tired. I literally came home. I took a nap, and I was supposed to go to the post office actually to get some care packages out for the DOB. Because I there's a few winners on in the DOB that I'm going to be releasing on those winners, but I was supposed to get those care packages out. I literally slept through that. So I came home. I was like, I'm going to go work out, and I was like, I'm going to take a quick 15 to 20-minute power nap. That did not happen. It turned out to be a sleeping lion just stuck in his den, just not doing anything and just falling asleep. So I apologize. I'll get that out to you. I'm actually on top of that, I was supposed to send my cousin's invitation wedding and let her know that obviously I'm attending, but I'm also one of the ushers, and then we're kind of behind on, they send you like, what do you want to eat? Like steak and salmon or blah blah blah. And like that was due today. And like probably gonna have to tell her, hey, I'm sorry. I did tell her 2 days ago that it might be coming a little late. So I did forewarn her. But yeah. Can't wait to go back to the Bay. Can't wait to go visit my family back in the Bay. It's been a long time coming. Been loving it here in Vegas though. No complaints. Although I will have a funny story. I had family in town and they said, "Hey, how hot is it over there?" I was like, "It's not too bad. It's only 100." And they looked at me and they said, "Wait, what do you mean only 100?" Because we're doing the FaceTime. And then they're like, "That's like Vegas people talking." I'm like, "Oh, you're right," because I'm from the Bay. And it was just funny. It was funny because I was like, "Oh, I'm used to it." It's like, it's not that bad. Like, it really 100-degree weather is not that bad. Like, I used to think, oh my gosh, it's 100 degrees. It's really hot here. It's like, no, it's not that bad. Just wait till it gets to the 115s, then it's bad. Then that gets kind of like unbearable. But like 100, that's like Man, that's like 70-degree weather for me. Or 75. Let's take it back. It's like 80-degree weather to me. Rob Princess, we appreciate you, Ryan. Thank you so much, man. Beast approved. I appreciate that. Omar Juarez says, "What's good, Beast? Salute Nation. What do you think Zeke told Renfro?" Ha! You caught that. Oh, my guy, Omar. By the way, you're dropping comments here. I see it. Not only on the live streams, but on the static videos I'm posting from practice. I got back to you. Did you see that? That's what's up, man. I appreciate you. And you're one of the newer guys who's been commenting. So again, if you're one of the newer subscribers and you like my vibe, Omar, tell all the nation about us here in the DOB. I say us, not me. Notice how I said that? Because we are a family. But getting back to your question, the community engagement that I want to bring in when it comes to this question, because a lot of you guys on social media, gosh, this is the one question. What was he saying? I was like, man. Well, I don't know what he was saying. He was probably saying, "Hey, Renfro, just a heads up, you're getting traded." Just joking. He's not saying that. And watch it finds out that he's traded tomorrow, or as we do this live stream. No, I just think that I mean it's June 1, right? So we talk about the post June 1 designation. So now's the time where Renfro could get traded, and the team would save $11.2 million in cap savings, right? Because it had to be a post June 1 designation if they were going to go ahead and move on from him. But I don't know. It was funny how he wasn't on practice, and then now he's on practice on June 1. Isn't that interesting though? Like, I don't know. I'm not one of those guys that comes up and like says, "Oh, what if? Like, could it be?" Or, Devontae Adams talked about it. He's like, "Oh, yeah, man." I'm not one of those people, but I will connect the dots. I don't know. Could it be a form of trolling too? Like we held Hunter Renfroe out, and all of a sudden he's not here on June 1st, and now we're going to drive all the attention on Hunter Renfroe. And by the way, Hunter Renfroe did extremely well in practice today. Speaking of Hunter Renfroe, I was watching team drills. Right, no live contact. You can't hit. You can't tackle. There's nothing like that going on. You're not even in your shell. You're just helmet and shorts. Right, so take that for what you will. But in shorts. Hunter Renfroe did really well. Like he was getting open on the short area routes that he was running. He had a strong look. There's like really no drop off in production with Hunter Renfroe. So I was like, whoa, that's crazy. If you were to ask me last year, I think he kind of came in out of shape last year. And I know that's hard to say or hard to tell because of the fact that he's so small in stature. But again, this is what I do, the strength and conditioning side. And maybe, he wasn't as conditioned as the team had wanted him. Like, this is my opinion. And so this year, I'm eager to see how that is. But he did well in practice today. Obviously, they weren't running like full 1,000 speed ahead from what we saw during media availability. But again, Hunter Renfroe to me, because again, why? Because you're starting to relearn the mind-muscle connection, right? The muscle memory, the technique, the fundamentals that Coach McDaniels talked about. When I said, "Hey, what's the most exciting part about OTAs for you from a coaching perspective?" And he actually shed some light on that. And I think that's really important because every coach comes in with a game plan, right? Just like you go into a game with a game plan, every coach comes in with a game plan. And again, you're in board shorts or you're in basketball shorts, you're just running routes. Like, okay, so what does that look like? Like for me, and again, I liked how Coach McDaniels alluded to this was, he talks about the mind muscle connection without talking about the mind muscle connection is the muscle memory. And it comes down to getting it from the shoulders up. Are they getting up the coaching, or are they actually taking and absorbing what the information that we're giving to them like a sponge, the ability to, right? We talked about this on my YouTube videos earlier. So again, you're not going to want to miss my YouTube videos. Don't just watch my live streams, watch my videos. Don't just watch my videos, watch my live streams. Don't just watch my live streams, watch my shorts. You're going to watch everything that I post because it all meshes into this live stream, right? It's like you have this blank canvas, right? But we have different colors to pick from. There's like different flavors within the DOB channel to choose from. And then you get the final product on the live stream. So again, how would you know what we're talking about if you don't watch these other different colors or flavors? You wouldn't. And so again, I put all this information out there. And the reason I bring this up is I really think it's important for you guys to learn something from this channel. Like I learn a lot from you guys. So I hope that you guys learn something from me, if that makes sense. And again, It does take a little bit more time, actually a lot more time in doing it that way, rather than just posting an article or posting a little quick slant video and then just being done with it. But at the end of the day, it's like uh, I truly am a firm believer in putting in the work, and I think at the end of the day, the hard work will pay off. And I did it with the Niners this way, and I'm going to continue doing it with the Raiders. So hopefully, you guys like the flavor that I bring to the table. Um, Plo Jogger says, keep us updated on how Byron Young is doing with his pass rush moves. He didn't develop them at Bama. Dang Freddie Roach. Uh, yeah, yeah. Dang Freddie Roach. All right. So just a heads up, there's 18 of you guys watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what I bring on the daily when it comes to your silver and black content. Also, if you want to provide a super chat or support me through a Venmo donation, you guys can go ahead and do that. And I will go ahead and put that up for you guys. But yeah, right now a like is free. It doesn't cost a penny, but it does help the algorithm as a recommended video. So please like my videos, watch my videos, and engage with me on those videos. And then obviously do me a solid and spread the word to all your family and friends. So do that right now. There's 19 of you guys watching. Give this video a thumbs up before we go ahead and continue on. And again, I wouldn't be in the position I am without you guys in my corner. Really, really appreciate it. And we've been on for how long now? We've been on for 21 minutes and 25 seconds. And I literally just rolled out of bed. If you guys can't tell, probably can't tell. You guys can probably tell by my voice. Or says, listen here, great point. I'm gonna need you to dust off them cleats and turn in your playbook. Oh man. Yeah, it's just one of those things with Hunter Renfrow. We really don't know how this is going to go. One of all says Beastwriter equals inside information. Oh man, a lot of good times. So that's a Hunter Renfrow dynamic. I do want to get into Chandler Jones. Okay, if you guys haven't looked at my Chandler Jones interview with him, he talked about his weight, and I can tell you right now, everyone in the room, Vinny talked about it, I talked about it, Case talked about it. Who else was talking about his weight? Tashawn was talking about it. The moment he stepped in, it's like, whoa, this guy lost a lot of weight. And again, this comes down to this is my space, right? Like, this is my space now in terms of strength and conditioning. I was like, man, I can tell, right? People ask me, did Isaiah pull him out, get bigger? Yes, absolutely. And so when Chandler Jones took the podium where we work at and inside the media workroom, because that's where we work at. The players come to us and coaches come to us. It was a special dynamic there when you're looking at him from the top down and be like, man, what happened, right? And he talks about his recovery. He talked about he really couldn't lift weights. You're going to lose a lot of muscle mass, all right? Mind you, when you can't get in the weight room and maintain that muscle mass that you had previously pre-injury, right, to post-injury. Because what happens is the muscles start to tear down. You don't have that muscle memory, so you can't push as much, right? People always talk about this. And again, if you're trying to build up strength, he's going to have to, and I talked to Vinny about this, and I talked to Case about this, like, you're going to have to build up some type of regime. And this comes down to strength and conditioning, comes down to Coach Nebo, comes down to Coach Batista, comes down to Coach Gruden. They're going to have to really get this guy up to speed because when I asked him, when you say he lost weight, right? I said, how much weight did you lose? And he told me, he actually gave me a number. He said 255. I think that's a lie. I think that's a total lie. Now watch me be wrong. No, I told you guys, I can tell. I think he's around the 230, 235 range. I don't think he's 255. So if his play weight, and if let's say he was listed at 265, right? You guys know how it is in high school and college. They always, fluctuate and make you look bigger than you really are. Like for me, I'm only 5'5", but they would list me at like 5'8", right? I'm maybe like 150, but they list me at 175. All right. So in the NFL, they kind of do the same thing, right? And so again, in terms of his weight, let's say his weight was what, 260, 265, 270, whatever it is. Let's just say 260. All right. If he was at 255, let's just say they list him at 265, 270. Let's say 265. All right. For his, mass. Okay. 265. He loses 10 pounds. So he says, now you're down 10 pounds. Okay. But that's not 10 pounds of fat. That's like probably a 7 pounds of muscle or 7.5 pounds of muscle, 3 pounds or 2.5, 3 pounds of fat. you can't build muscle that quickly without eating more. And when you're eating more and not being able to work out as much, now your metabolic rate kind of slows down because now, again, it comes down to cardio, right? That's where the conditioning comes into play. But then you don't want to do too much conditioning because then you'll lose the muscle mass that you don't already have because you've been injured all this time. So now it's a vicious cycle of where's the mix and match between the two, right? You guys see where I'm going with this? This is why you guys follow me. So when he said he was 255, I was like, man, I think I see a 235 guy in my head. I think I see a 235 guy in my head. Now, how is that going to translate going into training camp? We're going to find out, right? Because you still have June 12th, June 15th, which is still the next, OTA phase there. But it's going to be interesting how this plays out. I'm eager to see. And I can tell if he added 5 pounds of mass, I can tell. And if it's good mass or bad mass, right? So they're going to have him on an extra few meals, but then they have to be nutrient dense meals. And I'm sure he's already on that game plan. But then again, this is where nutrition also plays a role. So there's different layers to this, right? You have nutrition, right? Max Crosby talked about it, right? He talked about nutrition, he talked about diet, he talked about weight training, weightlifting, watching film. I mean, all that embodies what it takes for the muscle memory. And here's the thing about it. You don't want to rush Chandler Jones back too soon, bulk him up so big to now, wow, he's compromising what he does best, which is his get off, which is his speed. So at the end of the day, it's like, wow, if he's 255 looking like that, I wonder what he really does. I mean, no, he's not 255, in my opinion. Now he has to step on the weight scale for me to confirm that. But I mean, everyone, and hey, I'm not the only one. In cases like, yay, man, you would know best, right? Like, I agree. Like, I don't think he's 255, right? So I see a guy that's 235, right? I mean, because he's tall. So by default, you're going to have to add. And trust me, I'm good at this. I go to the gym, I can tell you height, weight, and I can get down to maybe 2-3 pounds. Yeah, it is interesting. Juan Navarro says, well, Samoan Raider is cool. I like the love and support he showed you. Zero arrogance. Yeah, Juan Navarro is dope. Juan Navarro is dope. Samoan Raider is dope too. You guys are all dope, all part of the family. Samoan Raider is a really good guy. After I showcased him on my YouTube channel, it got nothing but good vibes, man. People start talking. People obviously watch my live stream, and so they like the vibes that I bring in. They like the people that I'm bringing on, right? So again, Samoan Raider really good. I think he's a great guy. Sanjit really good. And we're leaving no stone unturned, man, when we're getting these content creators on. And today I wanted another beat right around with me. I did. I really did. And mind you, Adam Hill is going to be hopping on. All right. Vinny B is going to be hopping on. I'm pretty sure Paul Gutierrez of ESPN will be hopping on at some point. He's a busy man. But I would love to have those guys on. Confirm that they'll be on at some point. Obviously we have Cassie. Obviously we'll have Heidi. Obviously we'll have Adam, Vinny. Want to get Hondo on here. So again, a lot of Case obviously couldn't do it today. I wanted Case back on because I told him, man, I was like, dude, man, we have a lot to talk about, and I know you're busy. I know you're busy with the Vegas Golden Knights and all this other stuff that's going on with the NBA Finals, and so I was like, we got to set up a time. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, let's do it. He's like, just today's a bad day because of OTAs and so obviously, and he has a baby. You guys know that, and so family. So I really value their time, and I totally get it. Like, I think people who follow me here in the DOB don't understand that I don't have a family or kids, so it's a different ball game for me. Like, I can do this 24/7 because I don't have that, right? So the sacrifice for me is I don't have that, so I have this, right? And you guys are my family. So again, I'm going to do it for as long as I can until I do have a family. But right now, it's all fair game. It's all fair game, and doing it all for you because you never know, right? Time is of the essence these days. Boogie, what's going on? How you been? Richard, I know, Rich, my guy, Richard Sarabia. How you doing today, man? Really appreciate you hopping on the channel. And again, you're another one of the newest, just like Juan Avalos and Amar. You guys are one of these guys that really supports us here. And look, I appreciate you. I just want to say I appreciate you, Robert, for hopping on and really, really engaging with us here on this platform. There's 31 people watching right now. Give this video a thumbs up if you are just tuning in. It really helps push the algorithm, and it'll push the algorithm as a like recommended video here on YouTube. So please do that. And if you guys also want to support me, we've been on for 30 minutes and 20 seconds. If you guys feel the need to support me with a Venmo donation or super chat, and you like the vibe that I bring on the daily when it comes to your silver and black content, you guys can do so. And it helps the upkeep of the channel. What I mean by that? Well, I want to get to a road game, right? At least let's start off with one. I can get credential to all of them because I'm a beat writer, obviously, but we have to start off with one, and it comes down financially, right? Because I'm a one-man show. I'm the lighting guy, I'm the sound check guy, I am the live streaming guy, I'm the content creator guy when we have content creators on here, I am the social media guy, I am the editor, I'm also the news guy, the beat reporting guy, right? So that's 8 different hats right there. And then on top of that, the sound check guy, right? So if you guys want to support me here in the DOB through a Venmo donation or a super chat, super sticker, please do so. It really helps push these live streams along and helps really motivate me to keep these doing these on a daily basis. But I understand times are tough too, right? Because times are tough for me as well. So if you guys want to support me with your time, right? Watch all my videos because that will push the algorithm to like my donation that will help me grow, because of the fact that the more you watch my videos, the more engagement we're going to have on this platform, because then it's going to tell YouTube, hey, Beastwriter has 5,300 subscribers. Of these 5,300 subscribers, 4,300 of them are actually going back to older videos and watching and catching up on the replays. And again, that's what we want to do, catch up on the replays, and also give the video a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. A like is worth 1,000 hugs, I always say. So what may be small to you and takes a minute of your time, it literally helps me out more than you know. So hit that like button right now if you have yet to do so. It literally takes less than 1/10 of 1 second. And I promise you, it will help us grow, and we will get to 17,000 subscribers that someone here in the DOB thinks that we'll have by the end of the year. I was like, 17,000 subscribers? Can we just get to 6,000 subscribers? My gosh. And Samoan is a firm believer. He's like, hey man, I don't think you're gonna have any problem growing, man. Like you're gonna be fine. I was like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't say that, because man, Samoan has 40,000 something subscribers. I just want to get 6. I just want to get 6 right now. But Richard, your question, you've been giving Divine Diablo some pointers in the gym. LOL. Hashtag peace. And that's the first question that that popped in my head was, if you notice, the Beast receipt checks out. What did I say about Divine Diablo just from a physique standpoint when I got my first interaction with him this time last year? I said, this guy looks like a bodybuilder, because the question was asked, and I had some bodybuilder friends who are on the show, and they're asking, what do you think about this? Right? What do you think about the Raiders and who's big in terms of like if they were to be a bodybuilder? I said, man, there's no question. I'll give you the rundown. Denzel Perryman for sure. All right. Divine Diablo for sure. Amir Abdullah for sure. Jakob Johnson would be not men's physique. I can see him in classic physique for sure. Just right there, that's 4 guys that, if I'm looking at the locker room and where they stand, because obviously, you can tell they're not in shoulder pads and they don't have helmets on. So yeah, that right there. Yeah, you can definitely put a list. And when Matt Collins was on the team last year, because of his physique, he was able to get lean. You can just see the muscle belly and what he has there. We like to call it muscle belly. Muscle belly does not mean fat, it means muscle. So those guys are just ripped, like ripped. Oh, Darren Waller could definitely be a bodybuilder too for physique. Yeah. Brandon Bolden, same thing. Actually, you take any running back, they can definitely do it. But Brandon Bolden, Amir Abdullah for sure. I would love to give Divine Diablo some pointers on bicep curls. Pro Nation, Super Nation. Nah, but they have the strength and conditioning coaches doing all that, and I'm sure they're doing a very good job at that. If Divine Diablo is reported as being a monster of a man when he was already a savage of a man last year. Guy is Divine Diablo beast, man. He's good. Jared is chiming in here for the first time on the live stream. Welcome, Jared. Appreciate it. He says it's concerning there's reports that McDaniel still doesn't listen to his players. What reports are those that he doesn't listen to his players? I would like to know that. I would like to know that. Daniel Kim says, remember to hit the like because it's not coming here from me in the DOB. DK says, remember to hit the likes and subscribe. But thank you so much, Jared. I appreciate your comment. But yeah, who did you hear that from? I would like to know. Boogie says, I keep bringing it up, but RJ from the Autumn Windbags is down to talk to you. They had Vic Tafer on today. If that sways your vetting process at all. Yeah, I want they're one of the guys that were actually on my list. I was going to contact them. So it's funny. It's funny because there is a vetting process for me, right? And so like I got to make sure, but no, they were actually on my list. And you aren't the only one, Boogie, by the way. Aloha. Who brought them to my attention. I'm still new to the nation, right? This is my second year, so I'm still very new to you guys. So you guys would know. You guys would know. One of all says average year-round weather in the Bay Area is 55 degrees. On to Six Soldier says, what about Aiden O'Connell? He looked O'Connell, I think not O'Connor, but O'Connell. I get it. He looked fine. Nothing spectacular. Again, I'm not gonna say he's making all the throws. This guy is a surefire steal in the 4th round. This guy's gonna be a starter. He has starter potential. Look, I'm not saying any of that. Why? Because he's not really going up against anyone in live action yet. Hence live, right? It's not live, right? So it's almost like if you're not looking good in OTAs from a quarterback perspective, that's when I should say something. But if you're making all the throws, right, you're getting completions, okay. I want to see how he does throwing in tight windows. I want to see how he does when pressured and under duress. I want to see how he does if he stands tall and delivers inside or outside the pocket. I want to see how he does if he knows how to manipulate the pocket. I want to know how he does if he throws on the proper shoulder to the receiver in stride. I want to know if he can throw a quick slant and not throw it behind him to where now the receiver has to reach back, compromising his get off because he has to come back for the football because the ball is poorly underthrown. I want to know all these different things, right? And again, that's not just Aiden O'Connell. I want to see this with Jimmy Garoppolo. I want to see this with Brian Hoyer. I want to see it with all the quarterbacks. So I'm not going to talk about, this guy's really, really doing well in OTAs because it's OTAs. It's OTAs. I'm not going to get all excited over nothing, right? But I will say it's when I'm not talking about you, that's actually a good thing, right? When I'm not talking about you in OTAs, that's probably typically. Now, if I see something bad, I'm going to say, hey, man, this guy's like running around with his head cut off. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with this guy. He gets taken off every other play. He's taking up coaching, I guess. But then again, they pulled him the other play just before that. So I don't know. That's not a good look from a coaching perspective. But I'm not saying any of that. Everyone's on the same page. And I think Aiden O'Connell could be good. Look, I'm not good at quarterback evaluations anyway. So if I say Aiden O'Connell's going to be good, he's probably going to be bad. If I say he's going to be bad, he's probably going to be an all-star, all-pro, and future Hall of Famer. But I'll let you know. The one thing that doesn't lie is my film study. The one thing that doesn't lie is the fact that I can tell you if the pass is completed or incompleted. I mean, my 3-year-old niece can say that. So that's what I'll do. I'll take that stance. Hey, completion, incompletion. Yeah. Omar Juarez says someone needs to feed Chandler strictly steaks till the season starts. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with that. What kind of steak too, right? Are you getting tri-tip, right? Are you getting top sirloin? These are all lean cuts of red meat, right? But if you have too much red meat, it could lead to what? High cholesterol, high blood pressure. Again, bodybuilders, this is where the bodybuilding and the strength and conditioning come into play along with nutrition. This is what I do. I'm in it. I'm in the game. I've been in the game for 7 years now, 8 years now. it's not as simple as saying, let's just feed this guy steaks. I think it's more like nutrient dense food. So again, how much fat are you putting? Are you getting this guy a ribeye? And also on top of that, how much seasoning is this guy having? Because that's sodium content. So sodium retains what? Water. So now are you going to be bloated when you go into practice? Because again, you had this freak huge 24-ounce porterhouse, prime ribeye, caps, right? But at the nice marbleization, the Wagyu, right? Everyone loves Wagyu. But at the end of the day, it comes at a price. So again, there has to be a mix and match here. I would love to give him on some steak, right? But again, you have to portion it out too. You just can't give him a 24-ounce steak. You have to time sensitive out from the time post practice and pre practice. What's your pre workout meal, right? What's your post workout meal? What kind of foods are you getting to make sure that when you're glycogen depleted, you're refilling that glycogen as a stored form of carbohydrate? What are you eating, right? Because again, you don't want too much fat in your post workout because then it's not going to hit that anabolic window for the muscle growth. You see where I'm going with this? Let me write this down. This is what I do. So I would have him on. Yeah, I would have him on some type of steak. In fact, I would have him steak. I would actually shoot him up with some ground bison. I think ground bison is what I like to call the golden protein. It's leaner in fat. It has more protein per ounce. I would get him on that. I would get him on jasmine white rice. People have a negative connotation between white rice and brown rice. From bodybuilders' perspective, we actually prefer jasmine white rice. Why? Because it's fast acting. And although it's stripped down of the nutrients and whatever, I mean, you can look up all this stuff on Google if you wanted to, but at the end of the day, white rice is what we eat, and it's not just Japanese white rice, right? So Japanese white rice is a little bit more fattier, right? That's what makes it a little bit more stickier. So we actually prefer the long grain Chinese or jasmine white rice. That's what we prefer. For sushi, obviously, you're not going to want jasmine white rice on sushi. That just doesn't go hand in hand. You're going to want Korean or Japanese rice. So, yeah, there you have it. That's just we're talking about rice. Now, I also have him on some oatmeal, right? Because why? You need your dietary fiber. So I would get him some old-fashioned oatmeal if he doesn't like steel oats. I would get on maybe like 2 cups, right? I have a cup of oatmeal right before I go to work every time, right before I go to and work out. I have a cup of Quaker Oats oatmeal that I just get at Costco. It's not the best, but it's fast acting, and it works. And it helps with that dietary fiber, and it includes 10 grams of protein, 5 grams per serving, and 27 grams of carbs, and only 3 grams of fat. So if you double that all together, what do you get? You get a nice nutrient food, and then you compound that with almond butter. You don't want peanut butter because of the fat content. You throw in a slab of almond butter, maybe 2 tablespoons if you wanted to, and then you get in there. And so now you're getting your healthy fats in the morning, and you're also compounding that with good protein. And obviously, you're going to want to slap that down with maybe a protein shake, right? And what kind of protein shake? Well, again, you don't want something that's amino spiked, right? We talked about amino spiking here when it comes to protein shakes. So again, what to look for on the nutrient label, because it's not FDA approved, and we all talked about all this different things, but I would have them on a protein shake, specifically a whey protein isolate. And then again, we would have that pre and post workout. And then again, people think sugar is bad. Sugar is not bad unless you're insulin resistant or something like that, right? Unless you have high diabetes running your family or something. I would actually have them on some kind of a sugar post workout. I would get my game plan was this, right? When I was on prep, my coach says, look, I want you to have Kit Kat. Literally on my prep, I will be eating Kit Kat from the gym. It's all documented on Instagram. You don't follow me on Instagram, it's in the description box below at Beastwriter. You guys can find me there. But I would be eating Kit Kat at the gym. I'd be eating Rice Krispies at the gym on the treadmill. I'd be eating Reese's peanut butter. I'm known to do this. I'm serious. Reese's peanut butter cups. What else did I have during prep? My coach says, yeah, you can eat that stuff. It's fine. People get negative, but there's moderation, right? And again, everything has to be weighed out. You can't just look at something like, oh man, I'm eating healthy. It's like, oh, okay, so you're eating healthy, but how much of that healthy eating are you eating per meal? Right? Mark's 11:30 says, hey Beast, what are your thoughts on Aiden today? Everyone's talking about how he looked really good today. I mean, he looked good, but I'm not gonna sit here and say he looks like an all world player, but he made all the throws, right? He made all the throws. He looks solid, but again, I'm not gonna until the pads come on. I've been doing this for a while. This is how I do it. I reserve judgment or constructive criticism or praise, right? I reserve that until training camp rolls around. I think right now, for me, from my perspective and my flavor, what I like to do is I'm not paying too much attention to that. All right. Because that's just all muscle memory. You don't know if they were just running the same routes every single day. So obviously, if you do the same thing, you better be hitting that wide receiver on that quick slant, on that 7-8-9 manger down the seams, or the case may be, or that tight end, right? Coming on a comeback route. So, or a squat route or a China route. But for me, it comes down to watching the fundamentals in OTAs. That I think from a coaching perspective, that's where I kind of, because again, I coach, right? So I want to see that part of it. So I'm more focused when that's going on. I do watch that because do think that's important, because if the guy's struggling and I'm talking about it, that's not a good thing, especially in OTAs. But if you're doing everything right in OTAs, that's kind of like it's expected. It's when they do something wrong where I'm going to be like, whoa, what is going on here? Right? I'm not going to name. Okay, for instance, shoot, I'm just going to say it. I don't care. During OTAs, when I was covering the Niners, there's a guy by the name of Ian Silverman. Okay, they drafted him, I believe, in the 7th round or something like that. And it was so bad that he couldn't get the snap off. Again, if I remember correctly, he came out of Boston College. He was a guard center exchange. I think it was during either Tim Tomsula or Chip Kelly days, where they drafted him. GM Trent Baalke was the GM. And I remember watching this guy, and he couldn't snap the ball to save his life. I'm like, wow, they drafted a guy who they thought can actually succeed under center, and the guy couldn't even get the snap off right. Like, literally couldn't get the snap off right. Like, even with nobody in front of him. I'm just talking, along the sidelines, on the sidelines. Like, he couldn't do it. And I was like, man, I got to talk about this. I didn't record it. I didn't want to be messed up like that. I'm going, oh man, look at him struggling. He's horrible. I'm not like that. That's effed up. But I did talk about it, because I was like, man, this is kind of something I need to talk about. Like, I hope the guy does well, but like, this guy's not going to, he doesn't look like a prime time NFL player. Like, if you can't get a snap off, that's not a good look. Right. And so, like, they tried different techniques. They tried left hand, they tried right hand, they tried all these different. I was like, what is going on here? Like, just plug him as a left guard, for crying, or a right guard, wherever you want to plug him. Don't put him at center. Just give up. But it was OTA, so they kind of want to work on some different things. Every coach does that because that's the time to do it, right? AJ Cole talked about it. So I get that point, but I mean, if the guy can't get a center quarterback snap exchange off correctly, you don't want to do it 15 times correctly and then go into the game. All it takes is one bad snap, and again, the fortunes of the outcome of that game switch to the other team. So I don't know. I'll leave it at that. So it's when I'm not talking about you, that's usually a good thing. When I'm talking about you, that's usually a bad thing in as far as OTAs. Jeremy Willis says, Beast, who would you rather trade? Hunter Renfrow for Isaiah Simmons or Patrick Queen? Or Leonard Williams or Kevin Byard? I would say I would rather have. Ooh, this is a good one. So I'm just gonna put there are 2-pronged question here. By the way, Jeremy, welcome and aloha. We've been on for 48 minutes and 43 seconds. So 36 of you guys watching. Give this video a thumbs up. That is free. I'm not asking for a penny. Just help me out. If you like the live streams, if you like the curated content that I push on the daily at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every single day. We've been on for almost an hour. If you guys want to support me through a super chat, you guys can do that with me on Twitter and answering your questions, right? So again, I wanted to bridge the gap between Beastwriter and DLB family and all the nation. So again, taking the time to do it does take time. And again, money is time. So again, just support me with a like. That is free, right? And that's how you guys can support me. Also, engage with me on the platform and watch all the replays, right? Watch all the replays of my videos. That will help push the algorithm to other nations like yourselves as a recommended video. And that's how we're going to grow, right? Also tell your family and friends, hey, you have a Gmail account? Yes. You have a Gmail? Absolutely. Who doesn't have a Gmail? Subscribe to Beastwriter right now on YouTube. Okay, I'll get to it. They won't get to it. You tell them to do it right now. If they're a Nation fan, they're not going to want to miss out. Why? You just saw what I posted from OTAs today. You're not going to want to miss a beat from the beat here in the DOB. And not too many people can say they're beat writers, right? So that's already a win. It's you just say, hey, he's a beat writer. He actually covers the team. Oh, well, why would I not follow? And he does giveaways. Oh, why'd you tell me about this earlier? Well, you never asked. I didn't even know. Kikar Raider says, appreciate the grind, Beast. Getting a wife in the house ruined my gains. Well, also because we're from the 808, man. This is get twisted, man. You be going, I tell you what, if I lived in the 808, I put on the freaking 25 pounds, 30 pounds for sure. I know myself. I'd be able, right? I'd be able in IEA, and I would get my tasty chicken. I would get the Calbee, and I would get the strawberry crunch cake. One, because they're family friends, right? So like, they actually catered my sister's wedding cake. You guys know if you're from the 808, if you're from the that area, that they're known for the strawberry crunch cake or the lemon crunch cake. And you know, strawberry crunch cake is seasonal, right? If you're a native from the 808. Now I'm spilling the beans here, but anyways, my sister's wedding, they catered the cake as a wedding gift, and gosh, man, I'm telling you, I went to town on that, and I was on prep for my bodybuilding grind, and I told my coach, I was like, "Hey, man, is it okay if I eat this?" I had to take a picture. He's okay. He's like, "Go ahead, it's your sister's wedding." He's like, "You look shredded already. It's fine." But yeah, that I would go tasty chicken, Calbee, strawberry crunch cake. Lemon crunch cake's good too, but I prefer the strawberry. I would go get some poi donuts. I would slam down some Kamehameha Bakery. I would also get the cronuts there. Those are so underrated. I get that. I have to hit up Moto Hawaii. I have to hit my people up at Moto Hawaii. Shout out to them. Always take care of me. And then also need to hit up. Gosh, there's so many. We're not even talking about real food. Actually, this is all like heavy food. Obviously, poke, you can find that anywhere. But there are good places. Pacific Catch is one, so I would go there. Gosh, now you're making me hungry. Now I want to go back and visit my sister right now, my family in Oahu right now, which I am going to be doing at some point. I haven't seen my sister in Hawaii. Gosh, it's been definitely since COVID for sure. She came over and visited me from Hawaii. We had family in town from Hawaii during Christmas. That was fun times. And they visited me here in Vegas, wanted to see what it was like here. How I'm living. Am I staying in my grind? Of course I am. I'm just making sure I'm okay. Because I have no family out here. Spaceship says, would love for you to go to KC for Devontae's return since being sued. Get a feeling the man goes off. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? He should do a touchdown celebration to kind of commemorate that, but I don't think he would. But I think it'd be funny if he like after he scored a touchdown, he'd walk toward the tunnel and then go like this, like no, like I heard, like no, and then turn the other way. I think that'd be cool. Rocker Corey says, Beast. On to Six Soldier. Plo Jogger says everybody in the NFL is jacked now. What is their football IQ? I don't know. I wouldn't say everybody in the NFL is jacked, to be quite honest with you. I think a lot of the players actually don't even look like they are jacked at all. I think it also based on the position. Like usually a running back would look jacked, right? A linebacker, an off-ball linebacker would look semi-jacked. Majority, right? Majority. I'm speaking from the majority. Wide receivers, yeah, you might find one that's jacked, but I mean, when you look around the landscape of the entire 32 NFL teams, when I run the grades and the way I look at these guys and read the transcripts on these guys, again, that's what I do. I don't just watch film. I mean, I don't even know how many hours in a day I put in on other teams just as much as I put on obviously the Raiders the most, hands down, no question about it. That's number one. But then when I have extra time, which there is no extra time, when I talk about these other teams and these other players, like, I would say yeah, I would just say keep it there. And the defensive backs, those guys look pretty freaking solid. Um, in fact, there was a guy. I wouldn't say all the guys are necessarily jacked though. Like I wouldn't say an offensive lineman is necessarily jacked, but linebackers, yeah. Some defensive linemen, absolutely. Like Aaron Donald, jacked. Aaron Donald's jacked. That's why he's so good. No, I don't care if a guy's jacked or not. Like you said, like football IQ plays more of a role. I would rather have a guy who had a higher football IQ than just look jacked. I mean, you can look at guys around the landscape around the entire NFL, or guys that didn't get drafted or did get drafted, but they couldn't show up. Like, for instance, like Sean Oakman. You guys remember Sean Oakman? You guys probably don't because you guys are probably, I'm probably showing my age here, but Sean Oakman was a guy who just looked like a monster. And people were saying, "Oh, this guy's going to be the next Lawrence Taylor," and I was like, "What the frick are we talking about?" Just because he looks that a certain way. Like, here's the thing about this, and it was on Twitter, and I responded to it on Twitter. Austin Eckler doing these workouts, right? And oh man, this guy looks jacked. I'm like, yes, he looks good. He looks good. I'm not gonna say he looks. He doesn't look really good. Um, Jack to me, I think there's just different layers to that on whether a person's jacked or whether a person's big, right? Or is he just fat? Because fat and big are two different things. Like, for instance, and also big can also mean so many different things to that person. So, like for me, am I big or am I not? Right? If you look at me, you'd say I'm jacked, but am I big? Right? Do you have to be tall to be big? Or is big mean 4% body fat, 96% muscle, no matter the height? See that there's different layers to this. So if we're just going off of a physique standpoint, the guys that I just mentioned, they look jacked. They look jacked. And I'm eager to see the other players. I'm pretty sure a lot of other players probably look jacked too. So I'm eager to see who looks jacked, but I would rather have a guy who has a higher football IQ. I think if you have a jacked brain, you know, in a good way, I mean, but when I say jacked, if you're talking muscles and strength and everything like that, if you have a strong enough brain from the shoulders above, I would rather have that than a guy who just looks jacked on the field, coming hot off the bus and really to take someone's head off or something and really can't play the part, right? He looks like Tarzan plays like Jane, right? Like, what the hell? Like, I don't want that. Uh, Kikaha Raider says no more missed slants. DC was missing all kind of stuff over the middle last year. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say he wasn't missing some throws. Oh man. How do you like your steak prepared, Beast? I'm gonna judge your answer. For me, it's always been, and I got this from my uncles. My uncles. Okay, so if you guys know and live back in the Bay Area, there's a backstory to this. I think it's important. If you've ever been to House of Prime Rib, you guys got to go. That was a family staple of my family when we went to San Francisco to go visit my grandparents, who are very well connected to Chinatown and the Tongs over there, and so there's a backstory on that. But we would always go to House of Prime Rib. Like, I don't know, God, I don't know how many times. It was almost like we were VIP. Like they knew who we were at House of Prime Rib, but we go there and like as a kid, I just remember I was anchored by my Uncle Gene and my Uncle Emery, and they were saying like, and by the way, my Uncle Gene's really tall. He's a big guy, right? So I don't know how come I couldn't get those genes, but no pun intended, my Uncle Gene was like the biggest guy in our family. So I was like, Uncle Gene, how come I can't? Anyways, so we get the steaks come out and they, House of Prime Rib, usually it's already pre-cut for you, but like I, my two uncles are like, I was like, they ask how you like your prime rib, and it's like usually it comes out and it's done, but he says the bloodier the better. Like I want the thing mooing, or I want this thing mooing when it comes to my plate, and I'm like looking at it like as a kid, like what does that mean, mooing? Obviously, I know what mooing means now. It's like the bloodier the better. So for me, from that point on, I always liked my steaks bloody. Like I know that sounds gross, like people I eat with, they think I'm disgusting because like we'll go to Korean barbecue. I mean, we go to Korean barbecue like 3-4 times a week, and showing my Korean side here. But then, I always like to pull it off early, and it's like you have to let it sit. It's like, no, man, I just want to pull it off. So medium rare is what I go with all the time, no matter if it's Korean barbecue, no matter if it's at a Brazilian steakhouse like Fogo de Chao. I remember when I was covering the Niners, I would be there 3-4 times a week. Eating Fogo de Chao, which is bad for business, especially your bodybuilding gains because the steaks are fatty. But you get the Brazilian steak there, you get the picanha, you get all kinds of stuff that you can get there. But over in Santana Row, um, but I would come there after practice and just they knew what I wanted. They're like 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week, and they would just like boom, 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 boom. They knew how I liked it. Boom, boom. It was glorious. But medium rare is the way to go. Medium rare is the way to go. Anyway, if you're a medium person, I will judge you on a medium. I'm joking. I wouldn't judge on me. I would judge you on a well done. Anybody who wants steak well done, either there's a reason for that, which can be understandable. So I'm not going to judge until I hear your reasoning behind it. But if you just like your steak well done, just to have it well done, or something like that, and then it's like, man, you're just eating a dry steak. You might as well get some beef jerky. Kikal Raider says you should do a channel or podcast on Nutrition Beast. I tried doing that on my Instagram and it actually worked. Maybe I'll start that up again back in well, shoot, I think I started that back in 2015. But yeah, I do talk about nutrition on here, which is why you see the barbell and you see the football, right? Football and fitness is what we do, and nutrition does play a role in that. So, I mean, I was like, you know what? Since we're here in the DOB, let's talk about this, right? We can talk about it all in one channel. I don't want to have 2 separate channels. But if you do have questions, I have answers for you. And if you guys like what I bring to the table and you would like to donate to the channel with my nutrition information, send me a super chat or a super thanks. You will not find this for another Raiders reporter on what it takes to be a beast in terms of your beast grind in the nutrition game. I'm joking. Some people probably talk about that, but to the in-depth knowledge, this is truly my space here, and I can leave no stone unturned. I mean, trust me, I get coached up by the best in the world, right, for bodybuilding, right? Omar Ventura, Hani Rambod, backed up by some of the best. So, actually, not some of the best, the best. Let's not get it twisted. I mean, Hani Rambod's like the Phil Jackson of bodybuilding, right? He's like the Bill Walsh or the Al Dave. I mean, the guy is just. And I'm honored to be sponsored athlete by Evogen. Oh man. Boogie says Skittles is a good sugary snack. Yeah, I mean Skittles are good. I prefer a little bit more like chocolate. I'm a chocolate guy. So yeah. Thank you so much, Autistic Soldier. He says, for the super chat, you came in the clutch. He says, how did our defensive tackles and cornerbacks look? Defensive tackles again looked good. They were working on fundamentals a lot. Cornerbacks were looking they're looking good. I'm not saying they're looking bad. As far as who looked good or who looked bad, again, they were on the far field. So I am going to reserve judgment on saying who looked good or bad. Again, I can sit here and lie. You guys would never know the answer. I can sit here and say, hey, Neil Farrell looks like an all-pro. And I would make a lot of money from saying that because you guys trust my analysis. But I'm not going to go that route. I can also say that Matthew Butler or whoever, right? I'm not going to say, why am I not saying that, good or bad? Because they were so far on the far field there, I couldn't get a strong vantage point and give you a strong conviction. I even went to the bleachers to kind of get because I'm 5'5", I'm short. I went on in the bleachers, didn't go all the way to the top, just to be like Case Kiefer's height, right? My boy Case Kiefer, just to get on his height because I'm 5'5". I couldn't see anything even from that vantage point. So I was like, man, you could see, but you can't see. So I'm going to reserve judgment on these prospects. And I'm not trying to like downplay the question because I do appreciate the super chat and I do want to give you an honest answer, right? So again, I can't do that without giving you a sample size to pull from. And right now, I just don't have that sample. I just don't have that close-up glimpse Now during pregame warmups, they were up close and personal. I mean, we were right there. They were on the first field where we were standing, and then once positional drills took place and and everything else, team drills, the 7-on-7, 9-on-7, 11-on-11, whatever the case may be, non-contact, right? You can't do live action. That was on the second far field. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a stronger glimpse or a stronger look, but those guys are on the table. And I'll be sure to save this super chat receipt for you. And I'm going to jot this down. So the next time I see them, if I do get a stronger look on them, I will give you and have more analysis for you. So don't think that this super chat is going to go unnoticed. I am going to take notes on this at the end of every live stream, as I always do. If you guys have a question that you guys want answered, then want to send me a super chat. And if I'm unable to answer it on that live stream, I will go ahead and answer it on the next one if time and vantage point allows. So at some point, you will get these answers from me. You guys know how to do training camp. I mean, training camp is really where we got our most subscribers, like during the training camp. So I was looking at the analytics from July, August, and September. So there's that quarter right there. We grew the most. We were getting thousands of subscribers a month, thousands. And you know where it's from? It stems from my practice videos. It stems from my locker room pulse interview questions and my coach corner interview questions, and the the presser questions usually where I get a lot of the followers from, because they're like, whoa, what are and someone Raider talked about it, right? Sanjeet talked about it. Everybody we have here, a lot of you guys found me from my press questions. And again, we're going to talk about that right now. So Coach Graham, I asked him a specific question. If you guys haven't watched the replay on my interview with Coach Graham, you guys can see that after this live stream concludes. And again, if you're watching the replay and want to send me a super thanks, like Mika for Germany, it always does, comes in the clutch, you guys can do that. It is a heart icon and is in the description box below. Here on YouTube, or not the description box, it's here on YouTube as an icon once this live stream concludes. But also, if you guys want to send a super chat right now, we've been on for an hour and 6 minutes and 38 seconds. If you guys want to send me a super chat or super sticker, or if you guys don't have the means for that, give this video a thumbs up. A thumbs up is worth 1,000 hugs, so a like is just as good. So please do that right now. We should have more likes than what we have right now, so please do that, and then we'll go ahead and continue. But let's get those likes up right now. Give me some time to get a water break, because again, we've been on for an hour, and that's a lot of talking. Give this video a thumbs up, please. Man, gotta stay hydrated up in here talking. Woo. Boogie says, are there any teams interested in trading for Renfrow? I'm sure there's a market for him. I'm sure he would love to go to the Saints, right? Because think about it. Foster Moreau, Hunter Renfrow, Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, right? I mean, that right there, you have a canvas that Dennis Allen can work with. So, yeah, I mean, there is definitely a market for Hunter Renfrow. But what does that market look like? Everyone's talking about a player. I don't think it's so much of a player swap than it is a draft pick swap. Depending on the player, I would rather have the draft pick. If it's a 4th round draft pick, 3rd round draft pick, I would rather go that route rather than taking the player. Because if you're taking a player like an Isaiah Simmons, right, is there guarantee that he's going to return? Because he's going to be seeking that second long-term deal, right, coming off his rookie deal. So again, and the same with Patrick Queen, right? He was another 1st round pick. So again, when you talk about second level backers who are coming into their own and possibly needing a new fresh start, or the case may be, what does that dynamic look like for the instant gratification versus the long game? And again, I think too many people here, or too many people who don't follow us here, want that instant gratification. And I always try to break down the instant gratification versus a long game, because you have to look at that. You can't just say, hey, let's just trade and be a one-off. It's not a one-off, because again, are we going to retain this player? Because if not, then we should have just kept Hunter Renfrow all along, because he was under contract for another couple years or another year or two, right? So it's all relevant, but I would, as of right now, I'd rather have a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick. Why? Because then I could leverage that draft capital, move up for a player I really like, and then again, there's draft flexibility there, right? So if you hold multiple picks in the first 2 rounds or first 3 rounds, you have capital to play with, and I like that. I like that. You can do a lot of different things. You can work the board how you see fit and manipulate the board how you see fit based on the vertical and the horizontal. So again, different layers to this, different layers to this. But uh, at the end of the day, would I keep Hunter Renfro? I mean, that it's not even up for debate. Yeah, I'd want to keep Hunter Renfro, but it's not up to me, right? It's not what I would do. It's not what you would do. It's what I see actually playing out. And again, it's hard for me to tell. And that's talking about it with my boy Case today when we were watching practice. Like, hey man, do you think Hunter's going to get shipped out? And we talked about this. Um, I said, first of all, how many wide receivers do you think we're going to keep? I said, are we going to keep 6? And you said 5, but I wouldn't be surprised 6. And again, let's talk about this, right? So Devontae Adams, I was running down the list with them. I said Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, right? That's 3 right there. And then Hunter Renfro for now, okay, that's 4. But those 2 are slot receivers, right? Trey Tucker and Hunter Renfro. So now you need an X or a Z, right? Right? So again, you need that split end. So is that split end going to be Cam Sims? Is that split end going to be who's that split end there, right? And then again, you have Philip Dorsett who kind of does the same thing. So where does he fit in, right? Coming over from the Indianapolis Colts. So it's like and having Patriot ties. So it's like, okay, so that's 6 that we're just naming, right? And again, there's only so many balls to go around. So where does he fit? Because you have Michael Mayer now, who you traded up in the second round to get. So, I mean, you're not drafting him to ride the pine. I think it would be breaking news if he didn't start week 1, right? Let's just be honest about it. So, again, a lot of different layers to this, but it's going to be interesting. Omar Juarez says, I'm with Kika. We need a weekly nutrition live or podcast. And we can do that here. All right. So we can do that here. We can do a weekly live podcast. Any questions you have on any live stream, we can dedicate to that. So again, if you guys have nutrition questions, I can answer them the best I can. Kika Ray says, Tasty Chicken is the ish. Yeah, my friend's dad is the owner at A Bowl. Her way Thursdays was lit. Well, I'm pretty sure that your dad is actually family friends with my sister and my brother-in-law. And my brother-in-law is Joey, who's all in the commercials. So, yeah, he's a celebrity, but not a celebrity, but a celebrity. Arkham Raider is in the house. He says, Petty Devontae tunnel celebration would be funny. Omar Juarez says, endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph. Yes, the funny thing about this is I was talking about this with Case Kiefer when we were talking about Chandler Jones. I think that, in my estimation, I think that obviously Chandler Jones is an ectomorph, right? And so I think we talk about this on my live streams all the time. What's the difference between the 3? Easier to put on fat, easier to put on mass, not being able to do a combination between the 2 and just being kind of streamlined there. So it's different body shapes, different shapes and sizes, right? When it comes to the nutrition bodybuilding game. Boogie says going to need Diablo Explain to deplete the crap out of Eckler this season. Jeremy Willis says Beast per roster in all 3 phases is improved, especially the 3 levels of defense. Why is everyone assuming we're going to be trash when last year we were all playoff contender projection? I don't know. I have no idea. That's a great question. That is a great question. All right, we've been on for an hour and 13 minutes and 20 seconds. If you guys like what I have to bring on the daily, give this video a thumbs up. And also spread the word to all your family and friends about the dark side of Beastwriter and our road to 6K subscribers. We need 6,000 subscribers here on YouTube. That is our goal. I need your help, DOB. We can get there tomorrow easily if just 25% of you guys just told a friend and they subscribe to the channel. So it's not like people don't have a Gmail account. Not like people don't have a Gmail email, right? Like everybody has a Gmail. Hey, what's your email? Blah, 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 at gmail.com. Blah, 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 at gmail. It's only weird when someone says, da, 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 at sbcglobal.net. Remember sbcglobal.net? Yeah. Or at yahoo.com. No offense to Jerry Yang, who's in my fraternity, who was the founder of Yahoo. But no, who uses Yahoo anymore? Or Ymail? Or what else? AOL.com. Remember AOL.com? Man. Boogie says, you passed the steak test. I know you would. Kiara says, I'm Japanese Chinese. We slurp that steak juice off the cutting board and put it on the rice. Hey, that's what we do, bro. That is exactly what we do. People can be, oh, that's nasty. Don't knock it till you try it. Don't knock it till you try it. I grew up like that. I definitely grew up doing that. And people think it's gross, but that's where all the flavor is. Just like when you go to like a hot pot or a seafood hot pot or like a boiling crab or kicking crab back in the Bay Area. That was my spot for boiling seafood. But you get your crawfish, right? And then people think it's gross when I take off the head and then slurp the head. The head is where the juices are at, bro. Like, you don't know? Oh, that's gross. Isn't that where the brain is? I'm like, yeah, that's the best part. Or you go get some dim sum and people get all crazy over chicken feet. Hey, don't knock it till you try it. Oh, that's gross. That's eating the chicken feet. Dude, chicken feet's pretty bomb. Don't knock it until you try it, right? Do not knock it until you try it. Dan Kid says, I've been out all day. I have to watch Raiders pressers and Beast uploads on the run back. Juan Navala says, they don't let you use binoculars. I never tried that, using binoculars. And I'll be honest, dude, I suck with binoculars. I remember as a kid going to Niner games. We had front row season tickets. And then we also had section over at Candlestick in section, gosh, what was it? Section 30 something? 40 something? Gosh, I can't forget. I know section. See, I'm dyslexic here, so I want to say 40. So I was going to say 41, but we had lower box section 14, so that doesn't really make sense. But it was over underneath the Marlboro scoreboard when it was a Marlboro scoreboard. So gosh, I'm trying to see how the number. Anyways, I had seen tickets to that section, and then I remember because we weren't front row, we were like maybe like 30 rows back. But we had to see binoculars, right? It was on the other side of the field, so. I remember, like, even as a kid growing up, I was sucked at using binoculars. I couldn't use it worth the life of me. So I'm not even going to try that game, even if we were allowed to use binoculars. But yeah, and I don't even have binoculars. Your boy doesn't have binoculars. So, and I'm not going to try to invest in some anytime soon. Because at some point we are going to get the action, and we're going to get the action when it really counts. When the pads come on, we'll get action. We'll get action. Jackson doing joint practice with the Niners, which I cannot wait. Again, I have an inside track. I covered the Niners. I'm coming from San Francisco, so I already know their strengths and weaknesses. I already know the Raiders' strengths and weaknesses coming over from the Coach McDaniels regime and GM Dave Ziegler regime in year one. So I already have a blueprint for how I want. I can't wait. It's going to be lit. And then the hope is to have other 49ers beat writers on here. Then we can kind of go back and forth and discuss exactly what we're seeing from our respective lens on the teams that we're respective covering. And then it'd be good vibes only. I'm excited. I think that's going to be a huge hit here in the DOB to get other 49ers beat writers, right? On and just reminiscing about the past. Obviously, I'm sure they have stories. Good times. I know my guy Cam in made me talk. Which, by the way, I might catch up with him in debate. Cam, if you're watching, man, keep up the strong work, bro. Can't wait to see you. Yeah. Lightning VR says, "What's up, Beast? Me and my wife heading to Vegas now. You guys are actually going to Vegas right now? That's crazy. If you are, I'm down to meet up, Lightning. I am down to meet up with you. People say that's crazy. Hey, I guess I'm crazy. My sister calls me crazy. She says, if there's one word, she's like, if there's one word to describe you, you're crazy. Because you do things spontaneously. Like you're smart. She's like, you're always been smarter than me. That's not a question. Like, whatever. She'll tell you that. She'll be the first. I mean, she got her doctors at USC and everything like that. But she would tell you. Like, I remember, she's like, I always remember this. You would be watching ESPN, right? There was no such thing as NFL Network back then. You would be watching ESPN, NFL Live, or whatever, NFL Countdown, or the case may be, and you'd be studying for the SAT, watching it, and then just go and take the SAT. Like, how did you do that? Like, you just do it. Oh, no. And my mom always wanted me to be an attorney She said, "We never had an attorney in the family. It's the Asian thing. We never had an attorney in the family. I want you to be either, a doctor or an attorney, right? All Asian families want you to be a doctor or an attorney or a nurse, right?" Uh, I'm a beat writer. And looking back, I was like, hey, I was the first beat writer in the family. And now, obviously, they always supported me in that way. So they're like, oh, yeah, we just want you to be happy. And honestly, truth be told, I think my mom still wants me to be an attorney looking back. But now that she sees how successful I am as a beat writer, she's like, okay, that's pretty cool because my son's doing something that he loves, he's passionate about, and he's making a difference in the Asian community because there's not, too many beat writers or Asian personalities in the NFL media or the sports media in general, really. And so she's really proud of me. She tells me every day. Sometimes I think she still wants me to be an attorney because when I argue with her, she's like, see, this is why you should have been an attorney. You always have an answer. I always have an answer. Not talking back. No, always respectful, but I always have an answer. But wait, there's more. Yeah. I'd be down to meet up with you. Boogie says my auntie still has her AOL email. That is crazy. Does that still work? Does that even still exist? AOL email? Okay, the funny thing about this is AOL, when someone gives me an AOL.com, I'm like, oh, this is spam. This is spam. This person doesn't like me. Nope. They're giving me a spam email. They're not going to check it. Does that still exist? I guess it does. Does AOL still exist? No, seriously, this is a serious question. Does AOL still exist? Are there still like chat rooms? Remember, you used to go in chat rooms and talk, and you can go all these different chat rooms and talk about the Raiders, you can talk about the Niners, and you had your specific chat rooms that you want to talk smack in, and you had your little AIM handle, right? AOL Instant Messenger, AIM. Remember AIM? And then you log in with a dial up and say, "Oh, who's logged in right now? Oh, okay, yeah." Oh my gosh. What's good, Beast? Just got home from watching Fast X. How was OTAs? OTAs was good. I didn't see anyone struggling, doing anything out of the ordinary. Like I said, they were again practicing on the far field there. So again, I wouldn't say that in a nutshell, anyone did horribly bad, right? I know Vinny reported that Aiden did well. Aiden O'Connell, that is. So again, he might have better eyes than me, and he's taller than me, right? So he might have saw some things. And again, from his vantage point, he was actually in a better vantage point than I was, simply because you pick and choose who you want to cover, right? In terms of like the players that you're watching, right? So I chose to cover the more of the offensive linemen and then kind of getting the wide receiver DB look going around as much as I could. But Vinny and Q, they were over on the far left, and I think from that vantage point, maybe they got a couple more different looks than I did, and of course they're taller, so that may have helped them out. But at the end of the day, like I said, like OTAs, I've been doing this for a while. From my perspective, right, I'm just speaking for myself. I just think that by me saying a player is doing good or bad with the beast receipts, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to reserve the right to say that until training camp and the pads come on. Because again, from a coaching perspective and the coaching lens, look, we all heard the term practice player, right? A guy who lights it up in practice, and then when the lights come on, he's nowhere to be found, right? We're not talking about a game. We're not talking about a game like Allen Iverson said. We're talking about practice. We're talking about the game that I die for. We're not talking about a game. We're talking about practice. There's good practice players. That's why they're practice players, right? You say, hey, man, you're good. Come on, if you play coming out, you know what I'm talking about. So I want to see a different lens when training camp rolls around. But I did see Aiden O'Connell make all the throws, right? So again, from that is a positive. When I'm talking about Aiden O'Connell in OTAs, that's usually a bad thing. That's saying, hey, man, this guy is not accurate. He can't, man, if he's this bad in OTAs when the shells aren't on and basically they're just running in board shorts and really can't really you hit the to the receiver in stride on a simple quick slant route because the timing is off, like on back-to-back throws. Like, what are we doing? Then I would say something like that. But no, he was doing fine. But I reserve the right to say this guy is going to be like making like legit crazy throws in tight windows. Like, I'm not going to go that far. What is Fast X? Is that like the Fast and Furious movie that came out? I'm so out of touch with reality. I was watching Fast. What was it? It wasn't Tokyo Drift. I was watching something the other day. I was wondering why they had them on. Is the Fast and Furious movie out already? The new one? Is that what we're talking about? Because D Menace wants to know, says, what did you think of the movie Primos? Oh, I loved it and can't wait for the next one, or Hobbs and Shaw 2. Wow. Juan Wallace says, so fake doctors, PhD don't count. Oh, man. All right. D-Mans 4 says, salute, Pro. Mike Kikaha Raider says, my mom has a Hotmail account. Oh, my gosh. Hotmail. I forgot about Hotmail. One of those. Hotmail is awesome. I've never had a Hotmail. Oh, no, I think I did. Did I? Oh, it was long ago. Hotmail.com. I do remember that. It still works. Oh, jeez. Boogie says AOL chats were the wild, wild west back then. You know what? AOL chat. Okay, let me tell you something. AOL could have been the Twitter. It's basically AOL. Twitter is the AOL of today. That's what it is. Twitter is the AOL of today. That's in a nutshell. That's what it is. We should just name Twitter AOL. That's it. Be done with it. Or just call it AIM. Or just call it AOL chat. There you go. Just call it AOL chat. Just switch the name from Twitter to AOL chat and be done with it. Because that's what AOL is. That's what Twitter is. It's just a bunch of people trying to prove they're right, and they have time because they're probably doing it from work, and they're just like not caring about their work because the boss is like not there, and they're just going back and forth. Boom, 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 boom. And then it gets personal when somebody proves them right or proves them wrong, and other people, oh, you got ratioed, and it's like, oh, not so fast, I get ratioed. Then those people get mad because maybe they're just their friends, and maybe they didn't get ratioed, maybe they're right or wrong all along, but they're just trying to make a point, and so now they're like bullying and cyberbullying people. It's like, that was AOL. I blame AOL for that. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know definitely what I'm talking about with those AOL chat rooms. The Wild Wild West there was no filter. You can say what you want. You can have different fonts. That's the crazy thing about AOL chat rooms. You have different fonts, and you can make it bold. You can make it different colors. You can make it italicized. You can do all this. And then if you really hated somebody, you can just like throw those up there. Like, yeah, hey, like that. Like all these keyboard gangsters be all getting all crazy and flexing their guns through a keyboard. Like, yeah, I got my AK-47 going on the keyboard. Like, how do you like that? How do you like that, tough guy? Oh, yeah? Delete, 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 delete. Mac Teddy, thank you so much for the super chat. Coming in the clutch. Really appreciate it, my guy. Salute to you. How are you doing today? Gosh. AOL, we're talking about AOL chats, man. The Twitter back then, the Wild Wild West. Yeah. It's some crazy stuff, man. All right, so what else we got going on here, guys? What else could we talk about? In the background right here, funny thing, I'm watching Office Space. You guys remember Office Space? Gosh, I remember in high school watching Office Space, and Office Space is one of those movies that's a classic. And now, if you don't know about the Red Stapler and Milton Stapler, you guys have to watch Office Space. I'm telling you right now, it's on was that HBO Max or Netflix? One of the two. I don't know. I think I'm watching HBO Max right now. It's on HBO Max because they have these HBO commercials going on before Office Space. Watch it. if you have HBO Max, which now is called Max, I think they call Max now. They changed I don't know why they changed the name of it. They changed it so many times. But go to HBO Max, watch Office Space tonight, and you'll thank me for it tomorrow. That's the type of movies I like. I'm one of those guys who think I like some serious movie. No, it's like the the corny, like hilarious. I don't know. That's just me. I'm just funny like that. But thank you so much, Mac Teddy, for the super chat. He says I'm late, but you made it. Oh, the Boogie says the printer scene. Yeah, you guys remember the printer scene? I don't want to spill the beans. Or was it the fax machine? Whatever. I think it was the fax machine, but printer machine. Yes, absolutely. Don't want to spill the beans. That was one of the best parts in the movie. They literally did some crazy stuff with this fax machine. And again, this shows our age, right? This shows our age because I remember back when I worked at an insurance agency, uh, it was one of those things where we had to use fax machines, and like this problem happened all the time with a freaking paper gets jammed in the fax machine, and that fax machine was always effing up, like, and you just wanted to beat the crap out of the fax machine. It was like kind of like an anger, like a physical therapy stress reliever. Like you just wanted to beat it up because it was time sensitive. You needed to get this out to the mortgage lender for them to approve the house on the loan for the home, and then they have to get cross-check that with the bank, and so you have to do evidence of insurances. And then Chicago Title was upset because or First Republican was getting upset because they weren't getting the facts in time, and they always have rush on it. You guys know what I'm talking about? If you guys are in the insurance game or real estate game or the mortgage lending game, you know what I'm talking about. See, I'm not just a one-trick pony here. And so when I used to be doing this back in high school and in college, I was like, gosh, dang it. Like, this is the most frustrating thing ever. Kind of just put this freaking and then obviously you have the dial up and it wouldn't go through, and then you would get in trouble for it. That's the funny part about it. But it's not funny. It's like, yo, your fax machine sucks, bro. But can you tell your boss that? Because he's paying your paycheck. So you go like, don't bite the hands that feed you. So I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so what do we do? So I'm just sitting there in high school, like, okay, I'm getting paid good money because at the time, $10 back then was good money for me, for anyone actually. At the time, that's how old I was, and I worked right across the street from where Jim Plunkett played his high school football at James Lick, because I'm from the East Side, and so the freaking fax machine scene here and is so hilarious. Anybody who had to deal with a freaking fax machine, you know what I'm talking about. It's ridiculous. Jeffrey says I need to make a jump to conclusions, Matt. Hey, we should do that. We should do a Office Space game where we jump to conclusions. We should do a game here on the dark side of Beastwriter where we jump to conclusions. That's a very bad idea. That's a very bad idea. I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a very bad idea. Oh my gosh, such a hilarious. If you haven't watched Office Space, I challenge you to watch it tonight and not laugh. And Jennifer Aniston's in it, by the way. People tend to forget Jennifer Aniston does play a role in here. And Goldberg or Lumberg, excuse me, not Goldberg, Lumberg. The Lumberg reference is hilarious. If you could do that, that would be great. All right, so we've been on for an hour and 33 minutes. I think we're going to wrap off this live stream. I'm going to go ahead and circle back. I didn't even hit the gym yet at 7:45 p.m. here, so I'm going to get my pre-workout gains, hit the gym, and then circle back watching more film. And then obviously I do have some video footage that I want to put up here for all of you. So again, catch all my replays, right? I think that's very important here, and kind of a POE, which is a point of emphasis here in the DOB, Dark Side of Beastwriter, is I challenge you guys and I want you guys to watch all my videos. Again, you only have 24 hours in a day. You guys have a lot of prior obligations, and just catching a live stream or on the replay is enough work in itself in a given day. But again, there's layers to this, right? I put up this videos and content so you guys can kind of circle back and say, hey, man, I'm keeping tabs on these beast receipts because, again, what's going to happen is, why would you follow somebody who gets things wrong from real time to hindsight? And I can't speak for anyone else. I can only speak for myself. And that's why I'm not afraid to put up those beast receipts, because those check out more times than not. And I'm talking like 75, 80, 90% a lot of times. So again, if you guys want to know the future, we need to delve into the past. And if you're just new to following me, you're going to have to delve into the past to understand how I formulate my future, right? When it comes to predictions and everything like that, especially when training camp rolls around. So now is the time, because it is technically the off season, to go ahead and watch all my replays, watch all my live streams, and then timestamp. Look at the timestamps of when I'm saying something, mark it down, and then go and Google search things that are happening in real time and be like, dang, Beastwriter said that 3 weeks ago. Beastwriter said that 4 weeks ago. Beastwriter said that 2 months ago. Beastwriter said that the Raiders were going to target a offensive lineman on November 22nd when the season was still going on, and it was week 13, that they were going to target a offensive lineman in that 7 to 9 range. How did he come up with the 7 to 9 range? He must know all 32 NFL teams to come up with that draft order and target Peter Skoronski or Paris Johnson, because I also watch game film, not only in the NFL, but college as well. See? Beast receipt checks out. Who had that information back on November 22nd? Check the Twitter receipts. Check the YouTube receipts. Check the Beast receipt. So again, I just want to say special shout out to everyone that continues to support me. But again, like this video on your way out. It helps the algorithm a lot. And again, watch the replays of my videos and drop your comments, right? If you're watching the replays, you guys can also send me a super thanks. That helps out a lot. But then drop your comments, give it a thumbs up. That is free 99. And again, those comments help with the engagement, and it helps keep the conversation going and flowing. So again, thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I was going to give a special shout out to Ontistic Soldier for the super chat. Thank you so much, my guy. I really, really appreciate it. And also thank you to Mac Teddy for coming in the clutch with those super thanks on today's live stream that we've been on for 1 hour and 36 minutes and 13 seconds. So again, a lot of good things to talk about today. We talked about Hunter Renfrow, talked about Coach Graham, talked about the interview process with Chandler Jones and how that went down when he said he was 255. And I said, no, I think you're 235. If not 230. So again, he could be telling the truth. He didn't step on a scale in front of us on the podium, so I'm not going to sit here and say he's lying. But from a physique standpoint, and I've been doing this for a while, I don't think he's 255. That's my honest assessment right now. He looks a lot leaner. You can just tell by his face structure. Again, we talked about this with Isaiah Polamalu when talking about his gains and how he got bigger. Again, you can just tell. The first thing you notice is you'll see it in the face, and then you can kind of see it in his arms, and you can kind of see it in his torso. So again, when you look at a linear guy like that, and I consider him to be an ectomorph, how are you going to gain back that muscle strength? How are you going to build back that lean muscle mass, right? We're not talking about just mass in general, because again, you don't want to get fat and then compromise your speed. You want to gain lean muscle mass, so where you don't compromise that speed. But where's the fine line between getting too big too fast and getting too big too fat, right? So again, that's where the physical strength and conditioning come to play with Deuce Gruden, with Coach Nebel, with Coach Batista. I mean, all these guys have to get these guys right, and it's their job to do it, and they do a very good job at doing that. So again, I'm eager to see Chandler Jones's rise from now until training camp, because I want to see how this guy's going to bulk up in that time frame. All right, you're going to have to be eating a lot more meals, my guy. And you have to be doing a lot more cardio to keep up with the conditioning, so it doesn't turn into fat. It actually turns in and retains the muscles. So really eager to see that dynamic of it. We're going to break that down and keep a close eye on that. And again, that's my thing. That's why you see the barbell here. That's why you see the DOB logo with the barbell running across the DOB with the football, right? Football and fitness is my thing, right? We talked about that in the about section here on YouTube on what I bring to the table. This is my flavor. These are my thoughts. I hope you like the beast mentality that I bring on the daily. And again, we'll be hopping on tomorrow for another Pick 6 at 6 live stream for our 4th and goal segment. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Have a good night. Beastwriter out.